Hello Guardians, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to talk about the fine-tuning of the weapons in Destiny. We've all known the patch, we've seen the patch notes, and I want to give you guys my thoughts on the things they're going to change with the weapons. So this is going to be a talk about the Crucible and not about PvE. I'm totally going to talk about the Crucible, my opinion on the changes, what they should have added and what they should have gone away. And I hope you guys will enjoy this. The gameplay you're going to watch, I have no clue which gameplay I'm going to put down below it, but I hope you guys will enjoy it. I'm actually going to see which clips I have and how long this is going to take. So I've got the fine-tuning update in front of me, and the first thing they are talking about is the auto rifles, and the goals for auto rifles for them is the auto rifle is optimal at close to medium range. The damage, stability and range are tuned such that players desire stability for reliable close quarters damage or range for better accuracy at distance. I think this is a good change, especially because the Surge Regime, the Shadow Price, just to name two auto rifles that really accelerate in what they're doing. They are a lot better for longer ranges. They're great for medium and even close. You can take out your targets, especially the Suras, which is at longer ranges is just insane. So I think this nerf is good. So for the longer ranges you should choose another weapon. If that's your playstyle, you should change around to a scout rifle, maybe even a pulse rifle if it's going to be patched in the right way. The changes they're going to do, they're going to reduce the base damage of the auto rifles by 2.5%, which they've done before, and they're going to do it a little bit more because they're overused a lot in the Crucible, and I must agree with that. They're used a lot, so they're going to change it averaged across the rate of fire stats. Higher rate of fire took less of a reduction than the lower rate of fires, which is, in my opinion, really needed. And I hope they've done this right because the Necrochasm is really bad, which is one of the hardest weapons. I think at the moment is the hardest weapon to get in the game. The drop rate, Crotus and heart rate is just really hard, and for some players they haven't even managed to kill him yet. And the crux of Crota drop rate is really low after 7 or 6 raids on the Crota hand. The heart rate, my friend actually got it for the first time, and we have 6 people in our group, so it isn't dropping a lot. And they should really look at that to up the damage of the auto rifles that have a higher rate of fire. And kind of have to watch out with the damage it does at medium to longer range. Kind of let the drop off of the range be a little bit more than other auto rifles when the rate of fire is higher. If they do that, maybe high rate of fire auto rifles will be used a little bit more than they are right now, because at the moment they're not really that great in the Crucible and not used a lot. So they're going to reduce the effective range fires, so the damage, fall off and accuracy are a stronger factor in combat decisions, which in my opinion should be, because auto rifles are indeed close to medium range, and at the moment some auto rifles yet again are great at longer ranges. So the range reduction is less severe in the higher stat value, so now your range stat is more critical to long distance engagement, which in my opinion is great. Okay, now we are going to move on to pulse rifles, and pulse rifles at the moment are not used at all. I actually used the bad juju for quite a bit before the patch. It was really bad, and at the moment it was my favorite one that I've used in the Crucible after the patch with the buff. But the Red Dead Eye here is also a very good weapon, which sadly enough I do not yet own, even though Sir has sold it a lot and I didn't buy it because I'm stupid. But the goals with the pulse rifle is optimal at medium range, but can still be effectively harass enemies at close or long range distances. So this is going to be medium range, and you also have other rifles that are going to be medium range and are optimal for close and medium range. And they say they can still effectively harass enemies at close range or long range, which in my opinion they should have made the pulse rifles great for, or not really the best, because scout rifles should have been the best for long range, but optimal for the long range distances. Right now they're not saying that it's optimal, you can effectively harass. So this is kind of a, I think they're going to go with this as an all-around weapon, perfect for medium range, but not really optimal for close and long range. Which in my opinion, why should I use a pulse rifle? I've got auto rifles, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. The rate of fire sets a pace for players to both track moving targets and deliver precision damage in bursts. And at the moment the bursts on some weapons are not really that high, the rate of fire isn't really that great, so in my opinion I think this is really not going to work for the pulse rifles. And they are going to change the base damage by 9.7%, which is almost 10%, and that is a lot, so the damage value might change my decisions. But at the moment I think that I rather use a auto rifle than a pulse rifle, because I can shoot faster with an auto rifle and pulse rifles you have to be consistently tapping your bumper, which in some people's case isn't really what they're capable of doing, and they're going to miss a lot of shots by tracking and shooting the target. And of course, when you have auto rifle, I mean the pulse rifles that have a auto fire mode, it's going to be a lot easier, but sometimes that glitches as well. So if they fix that in a combination with the auto fire mode of the pulse rifles with the rate of fire, then it should work. But at the moment I'm not seeing any reason for me to start using a pulse rifle, which of course I'm gonna do and test, because the increase of base damage of almost 10% is really nice. So I wonder how they are going to work. Hand cannons, which is just my favorite piece of equipment to use in the Crucible, and they're gonna change some stuff with it, which I can understand, because the Hawkmoon, the range of that thing was just insane as well. For Thorn you could just headshot snipers 2 times and they dead, and they didn't even know what happened. They're gonna make hand cannons an optimal weapon for medium range, what they already are, so that's gonna stay the same. And for close range they're really great as well, if you know how to aim, which is kind of the skill of a hand cannon user. When you get killed really quickly by a hand cannon user, they can follow up shots on your head and they can shoot really fast, which is really something that you should appreciate for people to be able to do at the moment. I think hand cannons are a little bit too easy to use for long and medium ranges, but for close range, when you get taken out by a hand cannon user, that guy got skills, so you must pat him on the shoulder when that happens to you. A hand cannon is optimal when shots are paced, become less effective when fired quickly, which I already talked about. If you fire them very quickly, the stability is just insanely good, so they're going to change it around, which I can understand. The Hawkmoon looked like a really like a thick gun with something like a Magnum, which should be actually be kicking a lot. Maybe wait about 1 or 2 seconds, maybe that's a little bit too long, but like 1 second for it to kind of stable back at this point where you shot it to be able to shoot again. Right now you can just bam 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 with no problems, almost as fast as the last word, if you know what you're doing. So it rewards agility when under fire, precision targeting and snapshots, so that's really nice at the moment when you have the Radiant Dance Machines on the Hunter. It's a really great set of boots, exotic boots to use in the Crucible, because you can move around really quickly and use your hand cannon to really get those precision shots out. So really great combo, and it's actually a little bit overpowered in PvP, because some people can't track you. Whenever you're moving around really quickly and you can shoot on the head, they have no clue where to shoot, because I don't know, some people are just kind of afraid as well when you're using Taunt, when you have the poison damage at somebody. Sometimes people are just getting afraid because they hit and they have no idea what's happening, and hand cannons can take you out so quick, it's really insane, you don't even know what happens to you. So they're going to reduce the effective range, which I can totally understand, because at the moment the range is just incredible. The damage fall-off starts closer to the shooter, and follow-up shots are less accurate at long ranges, which I can agree with as well. Slight reduction to initial accuracy, this is unnoticeable at close to medium range, but it underscores the range intentions when used from far away, which I hope it plays out right, because as the way they're saying it, we're not going to notice any difference from close to medium range at the moment with the hand cannons, and at longer ranges we're going to notice a difference, which I really hope they put in correctly, because if they screw that up, that means hand cannons are going to be really bad for a while, which I do not want to see happen, because I really love those things, and I still hope I will love them when the patch arrives. So fusion rifles, everybody is talking about fusion rifles being OP and getting killed by a lot, making fusion rifle montages of them dying a lot, which I can certainly make one. But the goals of the fusion rifles are optimal at mid-range, where targets are easier to track, but they're not close enough to attack while you charge up. So they're probably going to do something with the charge time, kind of make it a little bit longer probably for you to respond to the sound that you can hear. It requires combat foresight and the ability to predict the target's movement to use successfully, which some people are insanely good with, especially some snipers out there which can just follow up headshots after headshot. Those people, whenever they're playing in a close to medium range map, can use a fusion rifle pretty good probably, but it all wonders about the blast pattern of the fusion rifle, which they're gonna make a little bit wider. Close to medium range volleys are largely unaffected, but at the distance the projects are less likely to land hits on a single target, which I really hope that it's medium range. In my opinion, is still a little bit too far for the fusion rifles, which I hope they're gonna bring a little bit back. Medium range, in my opinion, is too big for the fusion rifles. It should really be a close range weapon, of course a little bit further than the shotguns, but a little bit less further, where you can actually kill a auto rifle user, which is something I do not want to see happen, and it's happened to me quite a lot. So it's going to reduce the reliability of landing a one-hit kill at far range, which of course is something that I totally agree with, and I hope they do this right as well with the spreading. So it's more for damaging into a group, and I'm gonna laugh my ass off if you can kill 3 people with 1 spray because of the change, but I do not think that is going to happen. I think that the range reduction is a great way to nerf diffusion rifles, and some people even say you don't need to nerf diffusion rifles. To them I say just watch my Black 1 video and I am sure I will change your mind. Initial starting ammo is reduced across all ammo stats. This is changed this sentence is not right, but this change primarily affects the crucible. So starting a crucible match, you have less fusion rifle ammo in reserve, which is just perfect, great. They should really reduce the amount of ammo that spawns as well, which I'm not sure if they are gonna do, which is not saying, it's not saying it here, but they're going to reduce all ammo stats across. So maybe they're doing that, but that's something that would fix the problem a lot, make it something more like a heavy ammo, because the heavy ammo in my opinion has been perfect. The time it spawns and the amount you get is just great, and if they do something like that with the fusion rifles as well, that would have been a good nerf as well. Make them something more like a power weapon. And then shotguns, which is also a pretty infamous weapon because a lot of people have used them, and after this patch some people kind of said, oh, shotguns are really bad now. In a crucible of course, but I still find some very effective to use. So the goals: the shotgun is most optimal at very close range, complements melee attacks and other close quarters class builds. Offensively, closing on an enemy with a shotgun is a risk/reward timing game, which in my opinion it already is, because sometimes you just see people running at you with a shotgun and you know what time it is. You need to shoot them quickly in the head before they spray you down with a shotgun. In my opinion, this is already kind of the case, because sometimes shotguns really, you have to be really close to get a one-shot kill, but some people have some crazy shotguns with rangefinder and the hip fire being really close pellets to each other, something crazy like that. And those people are just lucky, and they have a great shotgun, and that's what they're going to nerf. So they're going to increase the damage by 2 times, 100% against all non-guardians, which is in my opinion not really a great buff in my opinion, because shotguns are still going to be a really risky thing to use. But we're talking about PvE now, which I actually didn't want to do. But just quickly, at the nightfall, you're not gonna run out to Follows the Ark to shotgun him in the face, because you're gonna die and you have to start all over again. So shotguns are never going to be optimal in PvE in my opinion. So it's going to reduce high-end range fails, damage fall-off starts sooner, so crucible players with long-range shotguns need to be a little closer for successful one-hit kills. So they're saying a little closer, which in my opinion, I think the range of shotguns is fine at the moment. I've not been killed from a really far range in a long time, so a lot of people don't have those amazing shotguns anymore. And like the fusion rifle, initial starting ammo is reduced across all stats in the crucible. So this is pretty nice again, because sometimes you just had shotgun ammo for days and people just running with a shotgun constantly, which was kind of getting annoying, especially in those close range maps where you just was in a good streak, somebody runs around the corner, hits you with 1 pellet and you're dead. So I think that's really nice. And they're not changing anything about the scout rifle, the sniper rifle, heavy machine guns and rocket launchers, which I'm totally fine with. As I've said before, the heavy weapons have been really nicely balanced in my opinion. The sniper rifles, nothing really that you can change about it, only the flinching to make them flinch a bit more, but in my opinion that's all really fine. And the scout rifles are actually pretty good as well, which I've been using recently in the crucible, and I must say I enjoy them a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little review about the fine weapons tuning and what I think about it, and I certainly think this is going to change my game style around, and probably should use other weapons than I'm using right now. And I'm of course going to test out the pulse rifles, which I hope they kind of fit in to the crucible. And there are already some pulse rifle users that do really well with them. They use the Stranger's rifle, they use the Vanguard pulse rifle, and those people are just really great with them. I've tried it before, but I'm not good with them, and in my opinion they really deserve the buff. So I hope this buff is good enough for me to use them effectively in PvP. So Guardians, please leave a like if you enjoyed and leave a comment down below what you think of my thoughts or about the weapon tuning and what you think should have changed and what shouldn't have changed. And please leave a like if you did and subscribe if you want more Destiny content. Hope you guys enjoyed and don't forget to game on.